suddenly when it's a quiet part in the set where Freddie's perhaps doing one of those vocal things with the audience, you know, you suddenly realise, well, there's a lot of people out there.
John Deacon is a famous English retired musician who's best known for being a member of the rock band called Queen. This musician was the bassist of this band and composed a number of songs for Queen. He was also involved in the financial management of the band Queen. John also played keyboards and sang backing vocals on some of the band's songs. He wrote some of the greatest hits of the band, including I Want to Break Free, Another One Bites the Dust, and You're My Best Friend. He's been nominated for a BAFTA Award, an OFTA Award, and the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2001.
I never thought I would still be playing in a band or, you know, recording at this age. You know, when you first join, you think perhaps 5 years, 10 years at the most.
If you enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the like button, as it does help us out a lot. And comment below who your favorite celebrity is that you'd love to see in an upcoming video. His full name is John Richard Deacon, but is also known as Deacon, Deeks, and Deaky. He was born on August 19, 1951 in Leicester, Leicestershire, England, making him 69 at the time of this production. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, or 1.8 meters. John was the youngest member of Queen and was also the last to join. The musician has often been described as the quiet member of the group. Queen split from Trident due to several reasons. One of the reasons was that this management company refused to lend John money to put a deposit on a home. When the band Queen was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2001, Deacon was not present at the induction. Back in the year 2013, a species of the genus Heterogrion was discovered in Brazil and was named after John. John weighs approximately 74 kilograms. Since John was retired from the band, he's living a private life. Neighbors say they're aware that John lives next door, however, they claim that they barely see him. There was a short-lived scandal in 2002 when it emerged that John had been visiting a strip bar. It was rumored that he'd formed a friendship with the lap dancer Emma Shelley. John has said in an interview that his hobbies are drinking tea and having children. John is married to Veronica Tetzlaff. The pair got married on January 18, 1975. They have 6 children together. He wrote the song You're My Best Friend for Veronica. John has 5 sons, including Luke, Cameron, Robert, Joshua, and Michael, and his daughter is named Laura.
The band took off, so I went with it, you know, and at least they guaranteed to pay us 20 quid a week, so it seemed worth having a go. And then suddenly it sort of seems to snowball and it takes over your life.
Born at the St. Francis Private Hospital, London Road in Leicester, this musician was the son of Lillian Molly Deacon and Arthur Henry. John's father worked at the Norwich Union Insurance Company. Back in 1960, the family moved to the dormitory town of Oadby, and the musician attended Lyndon Junior High in Leicester. In Oadby, John went to Gartree High School. He also went to Beauchamp Grammar School in Oadby. Initially, John was interested in electronics, and he used to read magazines on the subject. He also read magazines on building small devices, including the modification of a reel-to-reel tape deck to record music directly from the radio. John was a good student, and he achieved 8 GCE O-level and 3 A-level passes, all at grade A. The musician enjoyed soul music. John joined the band called The Opposition back in 1965. He was 14 years old at the time. This group played covers of chart hits, and John would play rhythm guitar. John used an instrument which he had purchased with money that he borrowed from Richard Young, the founder of the band. In 1966, John switched to bass after the original bassist of the band was fired since he was not improving. John was also the archivist of the band. This dedicated musician left the band after 4 years. John played his final concert with this band in August 1969. At that time, the band was known as The Art. John was accepted to study at Chelsea College in London. Now it's part of King's College London. In 1971, John received a first-class honors degree in electronics. He saw Deep Purple performing the Concerto for Group and Orchestra with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra at the Royal Albert Hall in 1971. In 1970, Queen was formed by Roger Taylor, Freddie Mercury, and Brian May. John saw the group in October 1970. During the same year, he also formed his own band known as Deacon. The band made only one live appearance at Chelsea College. A friend of Deacon introduced him to May and Taylor in 1971 and told him that their band had lost their bassist. John auditioned for the band and became the last member to join Queen. He played his first show with this band at the College of Estate Management in Kensington. In 1973, the debut album of the band was released, in which John was credited as Deacon John. However, John asked to be credited under his real name, so the group credited him as John Deacon on all other albums from Queen 2 onwards. This album was released in 1974. In 1974, he wrote the song Misfire, which was included on the third album of Queen, Sheer Heart Attack. John's second song, You're My Best Friend, was featured on the fourth album of the group, and it was an international success. In 1980, he wrote another hit song, Another One Bites the Dust. In 1982, John played a larger role on the album Hot Space. He'd started to play with other bands by the mid-1980s. John performed on the single Picking Up Sound by a supergroup called Man Friday and Jive Jr. He worked with Elton John and Errol Brown and played bass on Mercury's single How Can I Go On? In November 1991, Freddie Mercury died, and John was upset. This eventually resulted in a reduction in John's musical activity. He only played live with Queen 3 more times and decided to retire from music. He retired in 1997 and has stayed out of the public eye since. However, May has said that John is still involved on the business side of the band.
Luckily, in a way, it came out quite heavily. But I started it off with actually a completely different set of lyrics. It was all about cowboys, which is why the American phrase "Another One Bites the Dust" came in.
John has primarily accumulated his net worth from his career in music. Goldfinch Productions, owned by Deacon, has paid him millions of dollars. Back in 1973, he made $620,000 from the sales of the album titled Queen, which he released with the rock band Queen. During the next year, he made more than $1.5 million from the albums, including Sheer Heart Attack and Queen 2. Later in 1975 and 1976, John earned more than $4.8 million from his various albums. The album News of the World was released in 1977, and John earned $6.125 million from this album. During the next 2 years, Queen released 2 albums, including Live Killers and Jazz. These albums helped John earn over $5.4 million. In 1981, the band released the compilation album Greatest Hits, which earned John $18 million. In 1995, John made over $10 million from the album titled Made in Heaven. John Deacon's total net worth is $170 million. Currently, he lives in his house in Putney in southwest London. John has never moved from Putney since he never wanted to disrupt the schooling of his children. John Deacon likely owns the following cars: a Porsche 911, a Porsche SUV, a 1978 Aston Martin V8 Vantage Coupe, a Vespa scooter, a Porsche Carrera, a BMW, a Cadillac Eldorado.